Right, so I want to get back to our top story this morning. The Electoral Act 73 of 1998 declared parts of it declared unconstitutional by the Constitutional Court. It has to do with independent candidates contesting national and provincial elections. What does this all mean for current political parties? EFF spokesperson Vuyani Pambo is on the line. Vuyani, a very good morning to you. I asked this to Pule Mabe. Are you, as a political party, concerned given this judgment?
Good morning to you, my brother, and to our viewers at home. Let us first begin by passing our condolences to the family of Tokofatso Pule. And the EFF would like to say we're with them in spirit. We keep them in our prayers. We hope that they will be able to, soldier through this difficult time in their lives. In regards to the court judgment, Constitutional Court, as the EFF, we welcome it in line with, the relevant parts of the Constitution, in particular Section 18 and 93. We think that this is essentially part of what democracy should look like. We do not think that it is a threat in any way, because what is wrong with independent, candidates contesting? It is part of democracy. The Constitution, both in spirit and in letter, envisages a situation of such a nature. Yeah. And so as the EFF, we welcome the judgment, and we think that, what it essentially means is that we will have a true reflective participation in both voting and in contestation.
Right. Musi Maimane earlier on saying that politics in this country will need to radically change to adapt to this new way of doing things. How so will it change for your party?
Well, we will still contest the same way as we contest. We are a political party. We've got the right to associate, we've got the right of freedom of association. Everyone joins the EFF voluntarily, and people will continue joining the EFF because the way we organize is the revolutionary way. It is within the ethos and the spirit of being revolutionary to contest and be tested within an organization, and it is in that organization that we say this person can lead us. And only in the workings and in how we determine that this person, and in particular, in terms of office that may be, contested, whether it be premiership or presidency, the organization determines that. So when we go to the next election, even post the 24 months that have been determined by the court, we will still be running with the commander-in-chief or as the organization would have determined.
One of the issues that was raised is that including independent candidates will promote, greater accountability to the people that actually voted them in. Do you agree?
Can you please repeat that?
With regards to including independent candidates to contest provincial and national elections, some are saying that it might promote greater accountability, to the people that actually voted them in. I just wanted to know whether you agree or not.
Well, essentially, the more people contest, the more we can argue that we have representation. But the reality is also true that the other reality is that you may have similar people with some influence, in the same, similar people contesting. So you may have the rich, essentially deciding to contest by virtue of their financial muscle or economic standing. That is one. But the reality is that no one will then say that I can't contest because of this or that, or that the Electoral Act restricts us from contesting. But in this case, at least as far as legislature is concerned, everyone and anyone in South Africa who is of adult age may be able to contest and stand for for any office in South Africa, and that is a good thing. It ought to be welcomed. It ought to be celebrated because essentially it means that we are all equal, even in representation. Not only we're not only good as voting cows. But to further democracy and also to make democracy work even better, the interesting thing and the better, outcome for us would be to combine both, elections, the local government elections and the, national provincial elections, to contest them in 1 year, one election, and voting in one day. That would even make democracy even better. So as the EFF, this is one of the positions that we will be championing going forward. But we are a new democracy. This thing we will get it right. At this point, we celebrate and welcome the outcome.
In this country, among the politicians, we have a number of orators of note. Your leader, Julius Malema, included. We have the likes of the President, Ramaphosa. We have DeLille. We have Maimane. How much do you think personality politics will play a part going forward in 2024? And we know what you as a party stand for. Do you need to kick it up a notch in terms of portraying yourself in a different way?
Well, I don't agree. I don't think that it is just purely on orature that, personality sort of politics play themselves out. I think the Commander-in-Chief in particular has proven himself as a youth and as a young adult to be a leader, and the following speaks for itself. There are many other orators in many political parties, but they do not have as much support, and they do not have as much membership as, the Commander-in-Chief has in as far as the political party, which is the EFF, is concerned. And I don't think that, that is true, because if that was the case, you would have, the likes of, Musiwa Likota, for example, having an organization as big as the EFF. And I don't think that it's personality politics. I think the Commander-in-Chief, with time and with his commitment to the people of South Africa, has proven that his heart is in the right place, and the people are resonating in that sense. So the people of South Africa are not gullible. They not only hear, what you say, but they also see what you do. So it's true, the Commander-in-Chief is a great orator, in the greatest orator perhaps in this generation and even in the continent. It is also true that, South Africans not only hear his orature, but also see what he does. So as it stands, I don't think that, that will be a problem. I think what it will do, it will even test it out and prove that it is more than just standing in front of masses of people, but it is also how you organize, how you're able to, articulate a position, not only in words, but also in, putting structures on the ground. And I don't think that half of the leaders that you have mentioned were able to do it through orature. For example, let's take Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa has not given any inspiring, speech at any point. But what we do know is that he has got the, the white monopoly capital backing, which has gotten him where he is. It is not because he's a great orator. It is precisely because white, monopoly capital is behind him. And he is the president of the ANC today, not because he is a great orator or he gave a moving speech, but because, there were millions that were put in, and delegates of the ANC were bought for him to be president today. So it is not for any reason other than that. It's even the reasons that are put forward that he speaks well, it's not true. It's partly because of the sensational and skewed polls and reports that journalists churn out week in, week out. And the true test will always be on the ground. So the future looks bright for us. This does not affect us in any way as a political party, because our future is guaranteed in the hearts and minds of South Africans.
No doubt the true test will be on the ground. And I guess when you look at other elections, what the South African electorate wants is substance. And I guess that will be the true test in terms of going forward into 2024. Vuyani, thank you very much indeed, sir, for your time. Be well.
Thank you very much. Keep watching.
All right, Vuyani Pambo, the EFF spokesperson. The Constitutional Court, as you know, has declared the Electoral Act, part of it, unconstitutional, meaning independent candidates are allowed to contest for national and provincial elections without being a member of a political party. The case was brought by the civil society organization, the New Nation Movement, and others, and they have sought to have the Electoral Act declared unconstitutional as it did not make provision for the individuals to be elected to the national and provincial legislature outside of the party.